Good morning. Welcome to day 102, Wednesday, July 17th, 2024. It cooled down last night. It's 54 degrees right now. It's amazing. Man, what a difference that makes. So we're going to get moving. Camp is packed up. We're looking to do right around 20 miles today. Hopefully we won't have to do a water carry to camp if I get where I want to get. If things are going really well, there's another site at about 22.7, but that probably won't happen. So yeah, gonna put some tunes on and get moving. All right, it's about 8:15. Just cruising along here. We were climbing for a while, and we've leveled off for a bit. So one of the audiobooks I downloaded from Audible, they have that whole section where if you're a member, I guess, there's a whole free section of books. So there was one that seemed interesting to me called The Wax Pack. It's a guy, when he was a kid in '86, of course, he was into collecting baseball cards. So in 2015, he goes on eBay and orders a pack of baseball cards unopened from 1986. And he pulls out all the players, and then he drives all over the country interviewing or trying to interview every player in the pack. Pretty interesting idea. Unfortunately, it's a little more dry and boring, but good for the trail. So I really haven't been interested in any sports except my son's for about 20 years now, I would say. The last time I was ever invested was probably because at the time I was working in Boston. Was in 2004 when the Red Sox, I think it was 2004, when they finally won a World Series. I was taking my son to some of the games. I had a friend at work who had season tickets, so we were able to go quite a bit. And hadn't had any interest in any of that since. Love watching my son, Bobby, play all his sports, and kind of got more invested in that. So anyway, because of this book I'm almost done, I saw that Moneyball, that movie, was available for download on Netflix. I had never seen it, so I downloaded that and just watched it over the past couple of nights. Interesting. A young Brad Pitt, a young Jonah Hill. So that's my sports fill probably for the year. The next book on tap will probably be something more related to the planets or the solar system or the universe or something along those lines. I got a couple that I downloaded, so I'll pick one. But we got probably about 4 miles to an established campsite where there are comments on Far Out that there is some Verizon cell service. So I wouldn't mind checking in with Sarah, getting her itinerary, uploading, updating Far Out comments, all that fun stuff. So that's where we'll take our first big break. We'll probably take another shorter break before that just to break it up and have to look for a water source. I think it might be a while before we have an electrolyte water source. But right now, conditions are fairly pleasant. There are some reports of overgrown trail and blowdowns coming up, but I think people tend to exaggerate that kind of stuff. How bad can it be? We've seen some terrible conditions, and there are definitely sections, even for the past, I say, day and a half, it's pretty overgrown. We've been seeing a moderate amount of blowdowns, but nothing crazy. So that's the morning update, I guess. Anything else to report? I don't think so. I don't think I'm getting new trail runners on this mail drop. I probably could switch them out, but I can go another 150 miles with these guys. Some of the volcanic rock did a number on the tread, but they're still fine. Yeah, see, we're navigating some blowdowns here. Yeah, I think the northbound thru-hiker that I was at the water stop with yesterday, I just think he takes longer breaks. So I think I saw his cot set up or hammock set up near where I was hoping to camp last night, but just didn't have another 2.5 miles in me. So we may see him again at some point today, especially if we take a little longer break to hop on the cell phone for 15-20 minutes. Oh, so it was cool enough last night I could recharge my iPhones with the podcast and the music. Thank goodness. Recharge this phone to full power, so that was definitely a plus. Having it back to, I would say, normal temperatures and not heat wave temperatures. Let's hope that continues today and tonight. So far it feels like it might. We're getting a little bit closer to Mount Shasta. Looks good. Pretty nice view of Shasta. Oops, except for the tree. There we go. All right, so afternoon. We've gone through a pretty rough section of trail, pretty overgrown, lots of blowdowns. Hopefully we're through the worst of it. Our water source is about 1.5 miles away, so we'll probably wait and just take a longer break there, get some electrolytes going. All right, it's close to 1 o'clock. We are off the PCT. We are following a little dirt road here, and about a 5-minute walk, we should be able to collect some water from Gold Creek. This will be our first electrolyte of the day. And not feeling too parched, so the weather has been pretty decent. It hasn't been stifling. The trail has been terrible, first time in a long time, but the weather has been fine for the middle of July. Let's get that water. All right, I imagine these Karens are marking the way for our water. Let's go see. Water. All right, this is the last listed water source, Deer Creek, before my camp, about a 1/4 mile away. But there are reports that there's water a little bit north of the campsite. So I'm not gonna carry water up to the camp. Worst case scenario, I'll just come back here and get it, but I should be able to get water not too far from camp, a little north. It's gonna be 4 o'clock, another long day on hour number 10 of hiking. All right, we've made it to our campsite. we'll find the shadiest spot and get set up and then go hunt for water. All right, it's 4:30. We've got our tent set up, and about 0.1 mile north, there's supposed to be water. So I think I'm gonna go north instead of going back south, 0.2, and hopefully we score some water here. All right, so we're back with our water. There were reports on far out of deer being around here, so I'm gonna put the trekking poles in the tent, make sure everything's in the tent. I think they're primarily just going for the salt in the urine, or if there's salt on like a backpack strap, things like that. So for me, I keep everything in the tent all the time, except maybe the poles, but I'll keep them in so the deer don't chew through the handles. All right, do a little recap. It's getting to be 6 o'clock. We're at about 4,300 feet. We went 20 miles today. Yeah, sections of the trail were in really rough shape. A lot of blowdowns, a lot of overgrown trail. Not great. They need to do some maintenance on this section. I mean, it wasn't terrible, but it went on for many, many miles. So glad we're through that section. We're at a nice campsite here. Kind of like last night, I expect people will be showing up and pitching their tents, but it didn't happen last night, so I guess we'll see. Was able to rinse out my socks again down at the water source. Gonna get dinner figured out, edit this video, and just relax for the rest of the night. We have about 37 miles to the road to get into Mount Shasta, so we're in good shape. We have tomorrow and Friday to get that done, and have a hotel booked starting Saturday night, and Sarah will be flying in to Sacramento Friday and then leaving first thing in the morning Saturday to head out this way. Awesome. Yeah, I had a little self-service at some point today and did a quick check-in. I don't know if I mentioned that or not. So that's the update. We'll see you tomorrow.